February 14, 2013. That's the day our world changed. At 4 a.m. that morning, my brother Lester Dominguez passed on just a few weeks after his 27th birthday. That very night, the 8 of us were sitting together, and that's when L.E.S, Live Every Second, was born.
How do I know Lester? Longtime friends since freshman year high school.
Over 10 years ago, I believe, I met him, and met him through basketball, and he was always a goofball, always smiling.
I know Lester actually through basketball. That was like maybe 16, 17 years ago.
Lester is my cousin. His dad and my mom are brothers and sisters.
He's my godfather and uncle.
I know Lester from high school. He was a basketball player, I was a cheerleader.
I knew him from basketball, but eventually our relationship evolved to a friendship and eventually a brotherhood.
Lester is an inspiration to me because he was such a good friend. He was gone a lot for work, but he made sure he made time for all of us, and he was so hospitable. He would always cook for us.
He really focused on his schooling. Went out of his way to, go to school in Madison, Wisconsin, finished, and he became my inspiration and my motivation to finish nursing school.
He taught me how to play baseball, and he was a good guy.
He taught me how to live life to the fullest. He was a carefree guy. He got along with everybody he knew. He didn't have a bad bone in his body.
You know, Lester, at such a young age, I think he really knew what he wanted to do in his life. With that, I feel like that's something to look up to, and he's always close to his family. As busy as he may be, he always makes time and learns to live life, the way that it should be.
Well, obviously it was unexpected, right? So it was very hard, because especially when he was very young.
Life's too short. You need to live life to the fullest. Since he was so young and he came out of nowhere, and he was the very first person that was close to me that I lost, it was just surreal at first.
It sucked, It's like why, when he passed, I just thought it wasn't fair. Life wasn't fair.
Initially, it was negative. I didn't think life was fair. But then it made me realize we should all live life to the fullest and just be good to everyone.
As soon as I was able to cope with everything, it made me learn, like I said, that how Lester taught me to live life to the fullest. And by doing that, you have to also know yourself, not just physically, of course that's most important, but also emotionally and spiritually.
The organization is now a growing group, and we continue to reach out to those in our community and educate them about the importance of taking charge of your own health.
I definitely have been keeping up with my annual physicals.
I definitely do make a lot more time for my family now.
Health is the #1 thing, When he passed, it kind of just made it that much more important.
Well, I tried to do annual checkups where before I didn't used to do that.
I made myself to be better than each day, on a daily, stay humble and just be grateful for life.
I think he would be very proud of this organization. He was very into community service and helping out. He would feel honored that it was because of him.
I think L.E.S is important because it raises awareness on primary prevention, and it still keeps Lester alive in some sense.
Being in the medical field, we always say it, it's cheaper to prevent things from happening than actually cure them. So it's a good message. Yeah.
In the future, I would love to see this organization have a hub that people could go to for any type of information, whether it is about getting their checkups. If they're uninsured or underinsured, we could show them like different places where they could go for that.
There's definitely a shift in perspective, not just in Lester's closest family and friends, but in complete strangers. We continue to receive support from other organizations and businesses because they too believe in our mission. I am very proud of what this organization has become. My hope is to continue to grow and educate and inspire those around us. Hearing people's story of how L.E.S has changed their lives is what pushes us to continue to share Lester's story.
Funny moments, oh my gosh.
There's really not one in particular. I mean, every time I hung out with Lester, it's always been fun.
We were at James and Tillen's house, and they made me record them doing a toe touch. Lester, out of all 4 guys, couldn't touch his toes, so he just bent over and just touched his toes, and they did a chest bump. He pushed all the guys like 5 feet away. It was hilarious. I can't.
I promised him that we're gonna do, go out a lot and spend more time with my kids. So
one memory about him was that every time we went here to his house, he would always give me $10.
I want to say honestly, every time I think of Lester in my head, it's just him laughing, smiling, laughing, and that just shows that he was always just a happy, giddy person, and he spread that, so everyone else around him was the same way, laughing and happy. So
I just want to say I miss him and I love him so much. That's it. I'm not really a talker. Sorry, guys.